Good morning, good day and good evening everybody, and welcome to the hobby room and welcome to Scandinavia. I am Michael and this is the DF-02, the DF-02 and the DF-02 from Tamiya. Now you can watch my last couple of videos to get an idea what I'm doing right now with these, but just quickly and shortly, I did a restoration or a quickly dust off, I would say, and swapping over of some parts and got a fully ready to run, very stock DF-02 Gravel Hound here. And I used a couple of parts from the other second hand I got, and this will actually be the last installment of the DF-02 reboot for this year and pretty much the star of my project. And here we got my old DF-02, which will be the subject of today's video. Now if you're only interested in performance, now get a TT-02B if you want an entry-level four-wheel drive affordable model from Tamiya. It's a much better buggy. And if you want to see a build for some sensible stuff, then it's all about this one, because I will actually maybe call it a downgrade of my old one this time. So this will be returned to an less runnable version and less desirable version than it is right now. But I will tell you all about that in the video. As much as I would like to tell the full story about this DF-02, I will cut it very short here. This is actually, I think, one of the first Tamiya models I ever got, and this is the first four-wheel drive buggy from Tamiya, if I remember correctly. I had two XB models and I changed one of them. Slowly over time it grew more and more blue, and I ran it a lot and I changed the motors and gearing and some parts here and there along the way, but pretty much I haven't really run it for quite some time. Now I got a TT-02B upgraded now, and I got another DF-02 project that will be all about performance, as much performance and durability as you can get out of a DF-02. But I don't really actually need this anymore, and there are many issues with this one, and I will strip it down for you in just a second. But the idea is just generally to return it to what it once was. Not an XB model, but well, the state it was when I was done upgrading it the first time. So the idea is definitely just to return it to what it once was, for purely nostalgic and personal reasons. So I will actually remove the good DF-02, DF-03 shocks here. I will remove the good DF-02 turnbuckles, and I will add some of the blue stuff that I later removed. So shiny and pretty, I think. But there are definitely a lot of issues still with this one, and a lot of these parts kind of just make it worse and not a lot better. There are some parts like these TRF shocks, they are very good, and there is a GPM shock tower here. Definitely helps the issue with the very fragile front shock tower that comes with stock. But we still have some issues with the suspension mounts. That's part of the chassis, and I actually also broke my original chassis for this one, and I installed a used XB chassis that I had. But a lot of issues, and this definitely, I had a lot of fun with it, but it definitely never reached my expectations of how it looked and how it performed. Even though I changed out a lot of, I had the non-adjustable GPM upper arms and the A arms, lower A arms on alloy here, so it looked a lot pretty, but it didn't really do any good. So I changed it to turnbuckles. I actually once had the DF-02 universal axles. They are extremely good, but I decided to use those with my new TT-02B project, which seemed a lot more sensible. And we installed the GPM dog bones here. They are actually, I think, a bit better than the ones, the thin one that comes stuck with the DF-02, but the outdrives are quite, you can see they easily get some wear and tear, so the plastic might even be better here. But I also had a lot of issues with the slop and the fitment, and I even think, even though I bought it on eBay, most of these parts as GPM, if you can see, there's definitely some color changes along the way. So maybe some of them, even though the eBay seller, I can't remember which ones, but some of them are maybe not genuine GPM. But there's a lot of slop going on here. You can see from sideways, that's a normal DF-02 slop, but also the C-hubs here and the wheel hubs here, and the same pretty much goes for the rear here. And a lot of slop with these GPM outdrives. And I also have some issues. I think maybe one of the threads in the chassis is gone here, because it definitely moves a lot here in the steering upgrade. And a very senseless upgrade here. I think I will definitely try to find if I have the servo saver here, so I can save my servo. So I will try to find the old parts and return it to what it once was, and I will get a nostalgic kick out of that. Got all the parts ready for the suspension swap here, and I got a couple of hours, maybe only 1 hour now, and then a couple of hours in the evening later here today. So I better get moving on with this, and I will get you right back when we got these seated. And all done. So what you didn't see is that it's actually been sitting like this for 1.5 months since I did the last take on this video. I do recall there was some troubles with one of the kids not wanting to sleep, so I spent the evening with the kids, always the first priority. But yeah, then 1.5 months passed, and that was pretty much because I didn't have time, all work and all kids and family, and I was anyway waiting for this one because everything just felt really silly with all these upgrades, but one of the most essential upgrades was missing when I removed the Tamiya stuff. So yeah, pretty much all the Tamiya upgrades have been removed. This is just a package for the kinpins. These are the stock ones from Tamiya, and I will reuse the upgrade ones on another DF-02. So yeah, pretty much everything is GPM and upgrades and Tamiya stock, except for the spur gear, the 67 tooth. And I also got a Carson pinion, not this one, this is a 19 tooth, I think there's a 22 tooth, so a pretty high gear ratio. I did swap over the motor system since I'm not gonna use it very much, like sitting like this with all this silly alloy. So I found this in a box, unused, a very small little 1/10 scale LRP system that goes finely together with the LRP servo and the LRP receiver. I think these are the system. I think this is a 60A AI runner reverse version 2 LRP system and a twister or something high speed LRP can here. So yeah, it will probably not run that fast, but I think it will be pretty much the same speed as the 16-turn brushless Tamiya system that I had in it, that I will use for another car that I will run a bit more often than this one. Also replaced the servo horn for a stock Tamiya servo saver. So yeah, and as I did it, I also replaced these shocks. These are actually pretty good off-road. As always, GPM makes too hard springs, but that's okay, because I think this will mainly run on road 1 or 2 times a year max. And yeah, it will be good sitting like this. So if I can find some other shocks, or maybe shorten out these ones and make the height right a little bit lower, I think this will be an excellent runner going around in circles on a parking slot or doing some speed runs and motor tests or what have you. I did actually remove some of the slop with these alloy arms here, especially in this side. There's a bit slop going on over here, but there's definitely a lot less slop and play in these lower arms and upper arms than the stock Tamiya, and the turnbuckles still have a serious issue with these not fitting really tight together. There should always be, of course, a little bit of room, because this has to be spinning freely, but at one point I have to find some spacers that will fit in here. And yeah, there you have it, my old Tamiya DF-02. A silly one, but a nostalgic one. So I will just replace the stock steering linkages here with the Carson one here. I actually think these are made from GPM Racing and then rebranded by Carson. They actually look pretty nice and pretty beefy. Still, one issue is that they are set with these pivot bolts here, so they will probably be popping off just as easily as the stock ones. But since this is obviously not gonna see any jumping and any serious crashes, hopefully with these arms that will break the chassis suspension mounts immediately, I think these will hold up pretty good. I'll just pop those on and get you back on. Everything is good for now. Turnbuckles installed, where I have set a tiny amount of toe in. Always difficult to show on camera with the camera perspective. But yeah, the turnbuckles are looking good and they seem a very good and tight fit. So I don't think they will pop off easily or be unscrewing easily here. So I definitely recommend those, and the GPM shock tower, or if you desire a longer one for a longer shock travel. But yeah, that's pretty much what I would recommend on this buggy here. Everything else will just pretty much just weaken the chassis, and of course the upper arms will make it difficult, or I would say impossible, to produce any negative camber. So it will flip a bit easily, but if I ever decide to lower it, I think it will be all right with these non-adjustable upper arms. So from a nostalgic point of view, everything is looking good for me right now. I do have another set of the set that I once had in with the upgraded LRP Brust system here. Maybe I will swap it out with this, but for now as a one time of a year runner, and everything is good to go. Let's just pop on the body that I had with it, yeah, maybe some 5-6 years ago, or a little less. Yeah, so my DF-02 LRP GPM version has arisen and is awakened once more. Silly project, but a fun project, and I'm happy to have her back again. So that's the end of this lengthy little waffling video. One done here and one done here, and then one to go here. So I am happy, and I will definitely do some testing of these, and I will probably, once this is finished, it will make more sense when this is finished, I will do a quick talk through with all the upgrades and options of the DF-02, and probably compare it to the TT-02B. But yeah, that's it for now. I hope you're having a great time. For me, it's the holidays. That means a bit of hobby time for me. So I'm a happy hobbyist here in Scandinavia, and I hope you are doing good wherever you are. I wish you some happy hobby days, and yeah, always keep them running.